What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm J-Lag.
And I'm NB.
And we are recapping and reviewing You, Season 2, Episode 3. And it's called What a Friendzoned.
What did you think of Episode 3?
We're just diving right in.
Yeah, Deep end.
Deep end. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good. I feel like there's a lot of things that are happening in this episode that I'm like, okay, and I'm just like waiting for the next thing to happen because I still don't really know how I feel about the whole season as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So watching this episode, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go with it. Like Beck is gone. Like she's not like a memory anymore.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But
they couldn't pay her anymore. So
she's like, I'm doing other things now. But what
did you think about, because a lot of this episode really revolves around like Joe and Love like in the friend zone,
right?
So did you find that like you wanted to see them get out of the friend zone throughout the episode?
Yeah, because I feel like that's just the eventual situation.
Yeah.
So you're just like waiting for the whole thing to happen the entire time. You're like, okay, well, she's just like baking him cookies and like baking him muffins and shit, and then suddenly obviously something makes a turn.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, watching it's interesting. The one thing that I will say is, as much as this show's kind of like crazy and weird and fucked up, they do get like relationships right, if that makes any sense. Like I feel like there is honesty in how they,
the organic way that it starts, or like
just
their
the
chemistry.
interaction, like him not thinking that creating a dinner that's based on her childhood was, you know, an appropriate thing to do. Like you can tell that he wants to be a boyfriend. He doesn't want to be a friend. And that's something that I think you would think of if you were like a romantic at heart, like he claims to be or whatever. So I feel like they do take pieces of like real life and reality. That's not the best example, but I do feel like the writing for that is relatively organic. Everything else around it, I don't know. Mm-hmm. What did you think of the episode?
I liked it. I thought it was a little boring. Like
boring.
Like I did like it, but again, like I wanted things to go like, let's get through this.
Yeah.
You know, it's just leading up to like the inevitable of like them actually gonna like do it or like be together or whatever.
Yeah.
I do think that their chemistry as two actors is amazing. Like they do have good chemistry together.
Yeah.
And the way that they're written together, like it all feels so cute and real and so different from like last year and like with him and Beck.
For sure, he's like obsessed.
Like because she's normal. Like Love seems pretty normal right now. So like.
And also Joe's like backing off a little bit.
Yeah, he's not
right?
as aggressive.
He's
right?
like, oh, I just want to be a friend.
Yeah.
I can be a friend. And like he tries it and he tries his hand at it and it just doesn't work out, obviously. But I do like that aspect of it as well.
So yeah, we see them as friends most of the episode.
Yeah.
But one of the other things that happens is like 40, which is like Love's brother.
What do you think of him as a character?
I don't know.
That he's like
I think he's a little extra, and I don't really know what story they're trying to tell with his character. But
I can
maybe
totally see what they're doing. Like they're making him like he's basically Benji. You guys remember Benji from season 1?
You think so?
He's like the Benji of this season. He's like annoying. I'm surprised that they didn't make him have like his own club soda like thing, just like Benji did. Like he's got that vibe about him. So I'm just waiting for him to die at this point. Like Joe's gonna get annoyed. He's gonna be like, "You're in my way. I'm gonna have to kill you, even though you're her twin."
Having
brother.
said that, like he's trying to like really put up with him and like really be patient with him. And like in this episode, we do see the connection with that guy Henderson, like the actor, famous guy that like Joe sees in the first episode. Yeah, played by Chris D'Elia. So 40 and Henderson like know each other, but like they sort of reconnect in this episode,
right? And
that sort of like has a bigger focus on Henderson as a character because then we see Ellie, who like says she's like hanging out with him too.
She's like interning for him
because like she's interning with him, and like Joel's like, okay, that's kind of weird, whatever. Because like he does know about Delilah at that point, right? Or does she tell him at that point?
I don't know.
It must be
remember.
Because.
Or like doesn't she say something in the like the laundry room?
Yeah, it happens in the laundry room, and it must happen in this episode because he sees Ellie like throwing up, and she's like, ha, I just like took some pills at like Hendy's house. Yeah. And he was like, okay, that's kind of weird, whatever. And then like the pieces start to come together where like Delilah tells him like she was raped by him. Right. Was she raped, or was she just like she woke up and like her clothes were off or something?
I guess you can assume like molested, raped,
Yeah.
Like,
so he has like a focus on Hendy. He's like,
right.
He's like, this guy's evil.
And I think this is what Joe does do a lot of the time, because he knows all the shit that he's doing is wrong. Like he has a guy still living in a box down like in his storage unit. He's doing all these bad things. So he hyper focuses on everybody else because he's like, I need to save the rest of the world. He did the same thing to Beck.
Yeah.
He's doing the same thing to Ellie.
Like, if I save everyone else and I clear everyone else,
then everything that I'm
more
doing
time for
is,
you.
But also like everything that I'm doing is like justified. You know what I mean? Like everything that he's doing is in consequence to the fact that he's like out here being like a superhero villain. You know what I mean?
Right.
You watched Dexter.
Yeah.
I only watched, I think, like the first few episodes of the first season, but I know the gist of it. A lot of people have talked about the fact that this character has a relative similarity. Do you find a similarity?
There's a
what are
similarity.
the flaws? What are the things that you do or don't like?
The only similarity is that, like, I think Joe sometimes does find his hero moments. Having said that, he is 100 times more fucked up than Dexter ever was. Like, Dexter never did shit like this. Like, he only killed
serial killers.
People that were like rapists, serial killers, like very, very like stuck
specific
by his code. Where Joe's not like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like, not even close.
Like, yeah, he just like does
I
things.
think for you to be on Joe's side at this point, he's too far gone to me, in my opinion. Like, he's not even an anti-hero. Like, he's really fucked up already. So
and that's what I mean.
If people call him that, I'm like, no.
He's not enjoyable to watch in terms of being that anti-hero. Yeah. So like
he's done too many bad things.
Yeah.
You know, and I think in this season they are trying to like swerve him, and like obviously he's helping like Ellie out and like Delilah. But it's like too late. Like, bro, you killed like a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. So to your point, and okay, so the one thing that I want to ask you too is you talked about Henderson being connected to 40, Joe connecting to Ellie, which connects to Henderson, which connects to 40. Mm-hmm. What do you think? And you mentioned this in like our earlier podcasts about this season as well. What do you think of the fact that like everything's so like close knit, like coincidentally everybody knows everybody? Yeah. But you were talking about the fact that like LA might be like that.
I think to us, we can be like, this is way too much of a coincidence. Yeah. Like, what the hell's going on? But to the writer and to maybe people that live in LA, they'll be like, everyone knows everyone.
Obviously.
Like, they'll say like that as an excuse. And it could be true because, I mean, they're all the same age. They kind of do like
things like
maybe
that.
West Hollywood. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they all live in the same kind of like area-ish.
Like DM each other, yeah.
I don't know. It could be that. I don't know.
Yeah. So what were your big highlights of this episode? So you mentioned
40 really connects with Henderson,
right?
Which then leads like Joe, he wants to infiltrate like 40's Hendy's like circle and like get to him or like get closer to him.
He wants
or
to
whatever.
see if there's something shady.
Something
about
more
him.
shady.
Yeah.
So he meets like, I don't know, a comedy guy, whatever. That whole improv thing was like, meh,
so
to
weird.
Me, but whatever.
So
it just leads to like Joe getting invited to like a party at Henderson's house.
Right.
And that's where he sees 40's there and like he's like losing it. Like 40's like on drugs and like he's drunk.
He like kind of breaks. He basically breaks in because he's like he gets in because Joe got actually invited to this thing, right? Yeah, that's how he got in. Joe gets invited because he like fake pretended that he was good friends with Henderson.
Yeah, and then 40's just like there randomly.
And 40 was just like, oh, you're at the door? Okay, let's go. Yeah. Like he's just weird and crazy.
Yeah. So he does get into the house. Like Joe's fully at the party. Right. Everyone's like kind of giggling at 40. But then the interesting thing that happens is like Henderson like sees 40 like sketching out and he's like, guys, everyone go home. Like the party's done now. And even Joel was like, whoa, like that's so nice of him. Like he's shutting down his own party to make 40 feel better. Because
the entire time Joe's trying to find dirt on Henderson. So he's trying to find like a secret laptop. He's trying to find like what I guess the real Will is calls like a jacktop, which I guess is like your porn
place area,
porn laptop. Station. So he finds it upstairs, but then as this whole thing is happening with 40 and him like, you know, like freaking out on drugs or whatever, he does say that he's like, yeah, maybe this guy's actually a
and
good
I thought
guy.
That too. I was like, oh, maybe there is nothing on Henderson.
And I was like, what are you
is
gonna
Delilah
do now?
lying? Like, yeah. So it did throw me off a little bit too. But I'm like, what story are they gonna tell with that? What they're gonna claim this girl is a liar? Like in the end of the season, like what are we learning here and what are we trying to say? So
exactly.
So Joe kind of plays the hero on that moment. He like takes 40 back,
right?
And he texts Love. He's like, your brother's like, he's like losing it, whatever. Like come through, and she does
because. We forgot to mention that, like, because they're friends, it does come to a point where, like, Joe puts this little dinner together that is, like, related to her childhood. That's when she loses her mind. She's like, yo, I don't understand you.
Yeah, like, he cooks her dinner. Like, not a full dinner, but, like, it was cute. She's like, dude, this is, like, boyfriend material.
Full boyfriend material. Like, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm sorry. This is what you like? Yeah, so he fucks up.
So she gets mad at him.
She gets mad at him. So they haven't been like talking.
Yeah.
So to get back into her good graces, he's like, oh, your brother's here. She comes into the apartment. He's like all drugged up. And then she like helps him like throw up and shit, whatever. And then that's when they talk outside. And
like 40 passes out. And then her and Joe, I guess, like.
He's like, I don't care, I love you. And then they just like start making out, and then they like go straight to the room and they just like fuck right away. Those rooms are not soundproof.
So she stuffs his mouth with a sock, yeah, and then he does the same to her. But what did you think about her doing it to him? He
covers her mouth,
yeah,
with his hand.
What did you think about her doing it to him?
Again, like I said, love is crazy. I still think that there's something there, guys. Am I nuts?
That was
weird.
Was my like one flag up.
Yeah,
one flag up. I was like, because it was such a random thing to show. Like they could have just showed her hand over his mouth or something. Exactly. Like if they were moaning too loud.
Stuff with sock.
Yeah, like
a rolled up sock. It was
like, where did she find it? She's like, let me go into your drawer and get a sock.
She pulled out a rolled up sock, put it in his mouth, and he was like. And we were talking about it offline before we started recording, but like their sex scenes are extremely like hard to watch because like he's so loud
and he like it's like a weird moan.
Like a girl. He's like whoa,
it's so weird.
Whoa, like but like covered in the mouth. Like it was, guys. It was his moaning was so weird. But I mean, fine, I guess. But yeah, so they end up having sex. It's like the like big moment. He obviously is like, oh, I'm in love with you now. Like that's his like final conclusion of the episode. The one thing that you do have to like note is as they're fucking thinking that they're being quiet, even though they're like moaning like motherfuckers, the brother's awake. Like he hears them.
Oh, he does hear them?
Yeah. He's on the couch.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
His eyes are like open.
Oh my God.
So obviously I know. The first thing I thought was like something's gonna go down, like the brother's gonna like go crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't notice that. I was waiting for it, but I didn't see his eyes open.
But he doesn't in this episode. So
and also the episode ends with like the next day and like Joe and him start talking. And 40's like, by the way, like Hendy is a little weird. Like he has a sex dungeon. Yeah. He just kind of like drops the bomb. And Joe's like, oh.
He's like, oh, he must be.
Alert. So that's how the episode ends. A few little things to note that we didn't really talk about, but I feel like are going to come up later. Joe puts an app on Ellie's phone. Yes.
That like, will help her, like will help him like find her text. So like he knows what's going on. Because it does come to a point where you're like, are you really just like stalking this girl? You need to find a way to like make it seem like so it's not as like stalkery. Mm-hmm. Like for Joe.
I don't think it's stalkery. I think he's like legitimately trying to protect her. Like,
but like she's the new weird, Paco. Like,
yeah, that's exactly what I compared her to. I'm like, she's the new Paco, but she's cooler than Paco.
Cool. She's way cooler.
Yeah, like Paco's like role was so weird and
so lame. Another thing we talked about Real Will. Is this motherfucker going to be in this box for the rest of his life? Like this, I don't know, guy.
And I don't know what he really like. His purpose is like he has a big purpose in this episode because he helps hack like the computer and like, the internet. Even help him? But I'm like, yeah, why are you helping him? But here's the thing: when I kind of actually wanted to ask you, like, isn't it interesting that the guy that he's keeping captive, is actually nice to him. Like, he's not in the box saying, get me the fuck out of here. You're fucking crazy. He's in there being like,
he's like zen.
What's happened today? Like, do you need my help? Like, how can I help? Like, not like that nice, but like, he's still down to help Joe out.
So do you feel that like he has something up his sleeve?
I don't know.
Maybe. Or do you think he's just like, I believe you. I think maybe that you're just like as wrong damaged. Place, wrong time.
Maybe he's just as damaged as Joe. And so he understands sees, like, he sees that he's not completely evil, but like, I don't know. I don't know what that significance is for.
You're stuck in a motherfucking box. I know. How else are you supposed to take that information and be like, yeah, that's cool. I'm just going to stick around.
But he's also not fully normal either, that guy. Yeah, you know? So
he like tried to like change his own like.
I definitely do. There is something off with that for sure. Like it's going to come back.
At one point, I thought that he wasn't real anymore.
Yeah.
At one point, I was like, Joe killed him from time.
Yeah.
But then I was like, Joe's not going to be able to hack into someone's house. You know what I mean? Like he wouldn't be able to do all that stuff. So
maybe that's his only purpose, right? His only purpose was to help Joe on this journey of like tech, like tech.
Teach him. Like get him a IT course. That is kind of like the premise of the entire episode. I know that we're keeping these short, and I hope you guys don't mind, but like really there's not much more substance that I can like say about this show in as much depth. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think I'm good with
and especially like this episode, like the third one, I knew for sure like we didn't have a lot to talk about because like it wasn't a lot. Yeah. But stay tuned, guys, for sure, because we are gonna
we're gonna go through it.
We're gonna go through it. Doing it. We guys. Love your comments, so like please like this video if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're listening to us on Spotify or iTunes, like leave us a review, leave us a comment. It helps us so much. And like just hearing your guys' comments all week being like, please keep going. We're like, okay. We will. So it makes a huge difference. And like we love doing these for you guys.
Yeah,
so
it's all for you guys.
We keep going.
This season for sure is all for you guys. Just letting you
know. You.
For you.
For wink. You. Wink, wink.
I would like to take some time to thank our patrons of the episode. We have our Rewinder squad. We have White, Nicole, and Faith. Thank you so much. We have our Lit Rewinders, of course, Tina Ann, Sarge, Serena, Slay, Kate, and Jessica. And finally, Mommy Rewinders, Becca, Sarah, Tamala, and Grace. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. And if you would like to join our Patreon family, check us out at patreon.com/recap_rewind. If you join, you'll get access to all things recap, rewind, exclusive content, and updates.
And also make sure you guys are checking us out on all of our socials, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and you can also find us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iTunes. Like, subscribe, follow, review, and comment to stay engaged with us at Recap Rewind. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.
Bye.